I wanted to change the scene on page 195 to a boom shot. I don't know, maybe we can insert it later.
Well, I think we're going to have to, Brian. We'll never get the wedding scene filmed if we change anything else right now.
Dad, what about those extras? I hope they've arrived at least.
Yeah, they're in the dressing.
Yeah, but I think we may have a little more delay because Mrs. Livingston is having trouble fitting some of the ladies.
I think I'm the one that's going to have a fit. Hey, come on. All right. We'll just shoot Mom's scene with Nicholas Harriman first.
Well, I'd better go and prepare him, okay?
Yeah.
Brian, can I talk to you, please?
Paige, look, I told you, we'll talk after we finish shooting today, all right?
I tried to get you this morning before you left, but you left the house before the crack of dawn.
No, I had to be here early, Paige. We started camera setups at 6:30, right? It's practically 10 o'clock. We haven't shot a damn frame.
About your mother.
All right. What about my mother?
I spoke to Deborah Saxon last night, and she told me something so awful about Nola.
Watch out, everybody. Here comes the witch.
Ready to cast my evil spell on all of you.
All right, everybody, here's where we are in the story. Now, Hester has just murdered her young cousin and buried her in a makeshift grave behind the mansion. She now returns to the altar room where she will recite the spell that'll return her to her old self. Are you ready, Miss Patterson?
Yes, ready, Mr. Madisson.
All right. Places, please. This is a take. Sound? See. Later, Wally.
Scene 190, take one, sound 203.
And action.
Euphus, Medahim, Frugativi, et Appellavi, Prince of the darkest kingdom, take from me the ugly countenance of sin. I yield my powers back to the chambers of hell. Oh, your servant, Hester Atherton, begs the mercy of the Master of Hades. Thus do I evoke myself. But there is no change. I'm not myself. Euphus, Netahim, Frugativi, et Appellavi, Master of Hades, change me, return me. I yield you my powers. Change me to myself. No, it cannot be.
Did you know it was bad luck to break mirrors, Hester?
Something is wrong. The spell hasn't worked. I haven't changed.
No, you haven't changed.
But why? Why? You gave me the spell. The sacred words are yours.
Yes, Hester, the words are mine. The spell is mine. The power is mine. All of it mine.
My wedding takes place tomorrow morning. I must change back to myself now. Right now.
I warned you of this, Hester. I told you this when you were burying that poor crimson flower in your garden. I told you you had broken a promise, that you were not allowed to take a human life, and yet you did exactly that.
I had to kill that girl. She knew my secret. She would have revealed everything.
Yes, she would have denounced you as a witch, but nobody would have believed her. However, now, how could they not believe? Because that's what you are.
If your powers can restore that mirror, they can restore me.
Oh, sorry, Hester. This is the face you're gonna see in your mirror for the rest of your life.
No, you mustn't do this to me. I have served you well.
You served yourself, Hester. You used the weapons I gave you to destroy your enemies, and you have won. Tom Hailfax will become yours tomorrow morning.
No.
With the blessing of the Holy Church, you will become his bride. His beautiful, blushing bride.
No!
Cut! was terrific.
You all right? That was good. That was wonderful. Are you all right?
What about this Hoffman case? You mean to say there isn't one lead?
Nope, not one.
A diamond merchant gets murdered in broad daylight, and you can't even find one witness who saw it happen.
If we had a witness, I would have brought him in. Look, check out the number of inquiries made by no less than 14 investigators on this case, including myself. Nobody saw a thing.
Not acceptable. I want to see some results in this case, Guthrie, and I want to see a lot more action in your entire case load.
Sorry if I'm not living up to your high standards.
Skip that last remark. I know your record in this department, Guthrie. Nobody has a better one.
Thank you.
In fact, Marceau told me that you're his ace. Did you know he felt that way about you?
I thought you said you never met the man.
No, I never met him in person, but he left me a memo. Memo, hell, it was more like a book. In some ways, he was a very thorough man.
Well, he still is. He's not dead, you know.
No, he's not dead. And I'm sure he's not literally retiring. The commissioner told me he's considering entering politics.
Really? Well, maybe the commissioner is afraid that Bill Marceau might get his job.
Maybe we're going to have a mayor, Marceau.
How about that? Wouldn't that be something?
Why don't you sit down and relax a minute?
Thank you.
Something else I gathered from Marceau's memo. That you had some pretty close friends on this force.
That's right. I've got a few.
Two in particular he mentioned, Stoner and Saxon.
Yeah, we've worked a few cases together. I hope we can continue. We make a pretty good trio.
Saxon's come a long way for a rookie, hasn't she? And a female rookie at that.
She's earned her rank. I'm sure you've seen her records.
You don't think Marceau might have bent over backwards just a little? Help her out? She was the first female detective on this force, and that must have been politically important, I'm sure.
I don't think Bill Marceau did anything for political importance.
Don't kid yourself, detective. This job is half politics. It's just that if you do it right, the other half doesn't realize it.
Yeah, well, I still think that Deborah Saxon earned her own rank. I think she's a very good cop. She's a very effective detective, if you ask me. You, by any chance, don't have anything against female cops, do you?
I wouldn't admit that if I did. These days, that's like sticking your nose in a meat grinder.
That's right. But do you?
You just show me the lady detectives who can handle a riot, take a knife away from a 300-pound drunk, and then go push an illegally parked car out into the street. Show me these lady cops.
Yeah, well, police work isn't all muscle. That's why we have detectives, to use their heads.
It's a very pretty head, too. I noticed that. Yes? Yes, all right, send them in. You're going to have to excuse me, Detective. I unfortunately promised to grant an interview to the press.
Yeah.
It's a TV interview. If you'd like, you can stay and watch.
Oh, all right.
Hello. Oh, Steve.
Nicole,
Hi. How are you?
Just fine.
Good.
Let me introduce you to our new chief. This is Nicole Drake.
Hi.
Chief Derek
Boy.
Mallory. Nicole is from WMON.
Nice to meet
Another lady professional.
I know you've only been here a few days, but what impressions have you formed of the Monticello Police Department?
Well, pretty much the same impression I had when I read a detailed account of its history back in Denver. For a town this size, I don't believe that there's a finer police force in the country.
But you're aware of the fact that there has been some criticism about the department in recent years.
Yes, and that doesn't surprise me. The same thing is happening to PDs all across America. It usually boils down to a matter of economics, like so many things.
Ah, so you intend to fight for more money for the department.
Right now, I want to see how I can fight crime effectively with the men and equipment I have. After that, we'll see.
Well, I guess you've heard that your predecessor, Chief Marceau, was an active campaigner for more police recognition and support.
Yes, that's one of many things I heard about Chief Marceau.
Ah, then I guess you know that he was very, very popular, not just with his police department, but with most of the citizens of Monticello.
Well, in my opinion, Chief Marceau was one of the finest law enforcement officials in the country. It's going to be very difficult to sit behind his desk.
well, then you realize that his shoes are going to be hard to fill.
Very much so. However, he's a man who obviously earned his right to retire after serving his community so hard for so many years.
Well, what do you see ahead for you, Chief Mallory?
I just want to try to live up to the standards he set, Miss Drake. I don't believe I could do much better.
I don't know. I don't see why everything has to change. Why can't some things stay the same?
It's a very heavy question for so early in the morning.
Well, I can't help the hour. You know, you are not the only person that has to work, Doctor. I have to work, too. Am I keeping you from any patients?
No, first one's at 10 o'clock. That doesn't mean I can have a long philosophical discussion.
Well,
It's not philosophical?
Not really.
I mean, it's something specific.
Yes.
Okay, what's changed now?
Okay, you know that job that Draper was offered with that law firm, Seward, Paxton, and Whiteside?
The one in New York?
Yes.
That's come up again?
Yeah, I guess so. I had thought it was all behind me.
All right. Tell me what happened.
Okay, look, you know how Draper agonized over losing that job, especially because he had come so close to getting it.
Well, there's just one negative vote, right?
Yeah. David Henson, a senior partner, and he happened to be in the hospital when we went to New York. So he flatly refused to see Draper. Anyway, that's all in the past. What has happened recently is that Mike Carr went to New York and did see Henson and convinced him to change his mind about Draper.
Well, that's terrific. It's not terrific.
Well, look, he didn't change his mind that he was going to give Draper the job, although the job was still open. He just changed his mind in that he agreed to see Draper.
Well, to see him is to love him. We all know that. When does this happen?
Well, that's the other problem. That appears that it won't be for at least 6 weeks. Now, the twist to this whole story is that Draper and I don't know if David Henson is in the hospital or if he's on a tour in Europe. Draper has spoken to Henson. He called the house the other day to apologize to Draper for not having the meeting immediately. He said it was because he had to go into the hospital for further tests.
What's the problem? Why do you doubt the guy?
Because of this. Something in a recent law journal.
Henson and his wife going abroad.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Does it make any sense to you?
Well, no, but there's a way to find out. Carol, give me Seward, Paxton, and Whiteside in New York City. It's a law firm.
Miles, this is a long-distance call.
Oh, I consider it therapeutic. Be my guest.
Well, sorry I didn't think of this myself. Well, at least we'll know the truth, and maybe we're not even worrying about anything at all. Hello? Oh, yes, may I speak to David Henson, please? Oh, I see. Well, when do you expect him back? That long. Well, is there any way I can reach him? I see. No, no, there's no message. Thank you very much. Bye. She said he's traveling. Doesn't know his itinerary, but that she doesn't expect him back for at least 6 weeks.
All right, everybody, let's take our places for the wedding scene, please. Chris, you were right here, and Mr. Macefield, your place was right here. All right, let's have it quiet on the set, please. This is a take. Roll sound.
Speed.
Camera.
Speed.
Slate it, Wall.
Scene 198, take 1, sound 211.
And action.
What a terrible pity. Patience is not among the bridesmaids.
No one regrets that more than I, Mr. Wheeler.
Such a lovely creature, and so frail. Frail in both body and mind, unfortunately.
I still find it hard to believe that the girl was mad.
The strains of her life were too great for her to bear. Losing her father, her mother, her baby brother, and finding herself alone in the world.
Is there no chance that she might yet recover?
Oh, Hester tells me that the physicians at the asylum give her no hope at all. She must spend the rest of her life in that damnable darkness. I know that you cared for her, Tom.
Yes, I cared.
But today is your wedding day. And you should look forward to the happy future ahead.
Yes, my happy future. Mr. Whalen, we're ready to begin?
Oh, yes. I'm presenting the bride.
A great moment for you, Mr. Hailfax.
Yes.
Your bride may not be as lovely as her cousin, but she is nonetheless a very handsome woman, don't you think so?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing you kiss the bride.
We are gathered together to join this man and this woman in lawful matrimony, which is an honorable estate, and one which should be entered into only upon mature consideration and thought, and then reverently having in mind the holy nature of the bond to be assumed. I require and charge you both that if either of you knows of any impediment why you should not be lawfully joined together in matrimony, you now confess it. Tom Hailfax, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to live together in the ordinances and holy estate of matrimony? Will you love her, comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep only unto her so long as you both shall live? I will.
Hester Atherton, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to live together in the ordinances and holy estate of matrimony? Will you love him and comfort him and honor and keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep only unto him, so long as you both shall live?
I will.
Repeat after me. I, Tom,
take
thee, Hester, to be my wedded wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part. And I pledge you my troth. I, Hester, take thee, Tom, to be my wedded husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part. And I pledge you my troth. Inasmuch as Tom and Hester have now joined together in lawful wedlock, and have witnessed the same before this company, and thereto have been given and pledged their troth, each to each other, I, in accordance with the authority vested in me by the laws of this state, pronounce that they are man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
No, not here. I don't want to be kissed here.
Aunt Hester! You forgot the flowers.
Oh my God!
God on earth! What's that? A witch!
How did you think that scene worked, Eddie? I thought it worked rather well.
No, it worked fine. I think it's going to be a terrific scene.
Well, I've had my doubts about it, but once it got rolling, I think it really went beautifully. And wasn't Brian wonderful? My son is a director, Eddie. He really is.
Yes, Brian has a great future ahead of him. Who knows, maybe it'll be enough to make him happy. But I doubt it.
What do you mean?
Nola, I know why Brian's been moping around the house so much lately. I wasn't quite sure why he always seems so damn depressed, but now I know.
Oh, Brian is still trying to find himself. That's the way young people are.
I wouldn't know about that. I've never being young.
Look, Eddie, we can talk about Brian some other time. Right now, I'm really completely worn out.
Nola, I want to talk about him now. I want to talk about Brian and about Paige.
What about them?
Well, I finally figured out what's going on in that house of yours. I'm sorry I didn't figure it out sooner, but now that I know, it's making me sick.
You know what, exactly?
About how much those kids feel about each other.
Who told you? Where did you hear this nonsense?
It's not nonsense, Nola. It's love. Those kids are in love with each other, and it's eating them up alive. You talk about hell, those kids are living in it.
That's ridiculous. It was just a childish crush, Eddie. Nothing more than that. They'll get over it. I promise you. They have to get over it.
Sure, they have to get over it. They can never be happy because they're brother and sister, which means that they're going to spend the rest of their lives just trying to forget.
Eddie, please.
For God's sake, Nola, how could you have let this happen? How could you? You love Brian. I know you do.
Of course I love Brian, but that doesn't mean that I have to take on all of his
It
problems.
means that you could have told him the truth. You could have saved him all this suffering. My God, Nola, don't you remember? Brian isn't Owen's child. He's my son.